Hi students, in this video we're going to continue finishing the notes of 9.6, which is solving equations. So this is part 2. Okay, we're going to look at what we're given, and we have a log with a base and an argument, and it equals an answer. So when we don't have anything else around the log, we just need to undo the log. So here we're going to identify the base, the exponent, and the argument, and rewrite it as a base of 3x, exponent of 2, and argument of 27. Now we have an equation that has an exponent, so we need to consider rewriting this or distributing this exponent. This just means 3x times 3x, which results in 9x squared. And then from here, we can look at the x being squared, so we need to get rid of the 9 by dividing by 9. So that results in x squared equals 3. To solve for x, we need to undo the squaring, so that will be done through the square root. And when we do the square root, we need to remember that there is a positive and negative answer. There's a positive square root of 3 and a negative square root of 3. Negative times negative is positive, and positive times positive is positive. So here, this x value could result in both of these. This topic of logs, though, it's a little bit special, where the log cannot have a negative base and the log cannot have a negative argument. So if we consider this answer, we will have to put it in there as 3 times the negative square root of 3, which results in a negative answer. So this is not going to work because we cannot have negative bases. So just keep that in mind. The negative cannot be in the base or argument. And then last question will be this one. So here you have this addition happening first before we solve. And then when we are adding the same logs, we know we need to look at the arguments. And according to our notes, when it's addition, we multiply. So we're going to multiply these two. And that's the new argument for the log. Now we look at the log being by itself, isolated. So we need to undo it. This is your base, this is your exponent, and this is your argument. So when we rewrite it, we're going to have the base of 2, the exponent of 2, and the argument of x times x minus 3. And then we solve. So 2 squared is 4. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And then here we have a quadratic. So when we have a quadratic, we want to move everything to one side so we can solve for it. So we're going to do minus 4 on both sides. Cancels, and we're left with 0 equals x squared minus 3x minus 4. And then now when we solve a quadratic, we need to turn this into 2 factors. So to do that, we're going to use our x strategy of a times c and then b. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4, and negative 3 is your b. The factors of negative 4 are 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. 1 and 4 are the only ones that could give you 3, but to get negative 3 as an answer, you have to have negative 4. So here, we're going to end up with the factors of x plus 1 and x minus 4. When we solve for these, we need to write them separately, or just understand that we're solving 2 different values here. When is this going to equal 0? When x is negative 1. And when is this going to equal 0? When x is positive 4. So these are the answers to calculate. But when you plug them in, we cannot have a negative argument or a negative base. Just the fact that the x is there by itself means we cannot use the negative 1 because we cannot have a negative argument. So therefore the answer to this is just x equals 4. All right, go ahead and practice, and I hope this video helps you.